Okay, so the question is about embryos. And again, is it for the whole group? Okay, so what about embryos? How has that become part of your business makeup? And are you doing some ET work and that type of thing? All right, so basically embryos, what's it mean to your business, how it's developed? So I'm going to start with Jen.
Thanks. Our embryo program, we started our embryo work pretty well with the advent of ET work. We really took it up a different notch when BSE hit this country. When BSE hit, we needed to find another revenue stream to make money on our genetics. You know, the milk check was good, but we needed a genetic income as well. Andrew and I aggressively started to market embryos because that was a way that we could still get our genetics into other countries. Via print ads, social media wasn't really part then, so we went into email marketing. We were one of the first people that started email marketing. We made a very, very conscious effort. We now flush cows mainly on show season schedule, but last year we exported 250 embryos. We only milk 36 cows, so we exported 250 embryos just last year. We now have embryos in 32 different countries around the world, and it's really satisfying to be able to see Avonlea breeding doing well in different countries.
Yeah, and with our herd, like Jennifer, I would say back when BSE hit, obviously the livestock animal that we were seeing a lot south of the border stopped. So in the last 6 or 7 years, our program has ramped up on our embryo transfer. We flush around 35 cows a year. There again, we do send probably 100 to 125 embryos at this point out of country to different countries. It's a market you got to work at, and what we found good for us is that we host a lot of tours at our farm, especially the Robin Fair Week. We have different groups coming from different countries. We got to have a product in the barn that's they come and see. And one thing we found out that even a show win at a smaller show, these different countries that like to have genetics that are cow families, but obviously to win a few shows, so they'll buy embryos out of cows that have been at a show and did quite well. So that we've worked on that. It's probably about our farm sales is probably 50% milk sales, maybe 25 to 30% genetics, and then 25% cash crop in that ballpark. But embryos are a big part of our operation moving forward.
We always did a lot of flushing through the years when I was younger, and then when I started to come home after I was done at school and traveling, then so we ramped up our flushing a fair bit. We export about 80 to 100 embryos a year, depending on the year. And we found, like Jen and John said, when BSE came, that was a big education for everyone in the country. Now we have the philosophy that our milk check pays the bills. We've done a lot in the last few years to ramp up our milk production, cut some expenses, because the everyday costs of the business have to be paid by the milk check. Anything with our embryo sales or genetic sales, they're just a bonus to us. So we feel that makes us a little more sustainable if anything would ever happen again with the likes of BSE or anything like that. Also, we flush every couple weeks, every month, and like I said, we pick sires that we think that we want to use ourselves so that we can implant the extras if there is some, and then if there's also markets for them as well.
I guess we're dabbling on the embryo market. We don't focus on that as part of our business. One of the reasons we'd maybe cut back that a little is I mentioned earlier about the cost of producing that embryo for us on the scale we were doing it at, and when we were trying to pull embryos out of a cow that we also wanted to bring back into milk and be part of the herd and not keep on just a flush program, I was finding that I was having some cow costs. The cows that you flush a few times, if you struggle to get them back in calf after you've been working with them a little bit, I think there were some untracked costs there that maybe were giving us a reason to not do it quite as much. But I know other people are very successful at that.
For me, the market business for the embryo is still good. It's still better last 3-4 years ago because the way the genomic, I don't invest too much in the genomic and the top one. I use my mind. And I go up to myself, and another way. And starting this last 12 months, we buy over 25 eggs from the top heifer in the world available, And I go that way for the genomic because it's so expensive, the high number heifers, and I starting to buy embryo this high genomic heifers. Now at the farm we are 1 hour from Bovitech, and we work with 75% and over in vitro embryo because we put a cow in calf, and we do after she's safe in calf, we use a lot in vitro embryo at this time. We have 75% of the embryo we sell is from embryo, female embryo, and the market is go up very quick for this way. And the highest heifer for the genomic is starting to the market is go up, and I see many young breeders and new breeders on the breed. She called for the embryo for the high genomic, and I think it's a good tool to invest in the embryo with the genomic. It's tough to find the good one and expensive, or sometimes I buy the third one or the fourth one or the full sister, 4-5 full sister is good investment too because it's so cheap. The difference with the hires and the group is a very wise investment, and we make a hire in there, and we have some embryo contract with the third one because the first and the second one is booking and no make enough embryo to the market. And with the third one and the fourth one in the group, is good investment to buy her and flush one time with the right bull, and it's a good market. I do that two way for myself.